Yo, what is up guys? Max here, helping you guys level up your game, and in this video I'll be giving you some tips and tricks on how to get better at arena mode and how to just get more points. And this video won't be based around any particular game mode type, and every tip can pretty much be transitioned into solos, duos, trios, squads, and maybe even another game mode type that may come into the game in the future. So I'm going to be giving you some of the best tips that I've learned from experience, and I'm pretty much just going to be sharing them with you. So as you may or may not know, I've actually been on a break from uploading recently, and this video is recorded during the break and none of you know about it, but I basically got the chance to play arena mode a little bit more because, you know, I have a lot less stuff to do with you know, YouTube not being the main priority during this month for me, and I've actually had a lot of fun playing arena mode. Even though I was in Division 6, I was still coming up against some decent players, and I hope you guys enjoy the clips in the background. This is all from around like 2 days of playing, and I didn't really, you know, even have to sweat that much compared to other seasons when I was actually trying to get into Champions League every time. And I did it successfully, and along the way I've learned a lot about comp Fortnite. And even though this is not the most competitive thing in the game, I've actually played cash cups in the past, and I've actually placed pretty well in some of them. But anyways, let's get into the video. Let me share some of the crucial tips that you lot need to know to pretty much hack arena mode and do well in it, whatever the season or the time is in Fortnite. So the first thing that you gotta get right is you have to start playing for endgame in arena mode, and this has a number of benefits. First of all, it will help you in future tournaments and competitions, as you'll pretty much know how to rotate better in the higher divisions against some of the higher tier, higher skilled players. And that, in my opinion, is what arena mode was actually meant to be used for when it was introduced, but it's kind of turned into a little bit of a W key fest in some of the earlier divisions. Even though some of the higher division games, you can actually find lobbies that are semi-stacked. You know, you'll get like 20-30 people for a decent little end game, but it doesn't always happen, and that's why, you know, arena isn't the most reliable thing if it's gonna, you know, come to down to practice for, you know, future tournaments. But it is better than nothing, and if arena mode is something that you like, then you may want to use it for that as well. But anyways, moving on to the second benefit that playing for endgame actually brings is it will generally lead to you staying alive longer and getting more in-game practice in. And this is very important because I know that a lot of people struggle with endgame, and I've actually made a video on it, so you might want to check it out after this video. I go into a lot of detail about how you can actually start winning more of your end game fights and just more of your end games, basically, because that's something you want to be doing, because it will not only give you more points in arena mode, but it will also help you in, you know, several competitions, because wins always grant you a number of points. But anyways, the third main benefit that playing for endgame will actually give you is it will help you accumulate top 25 points, or whatever that transitions into in duos or trios or squads or whatever you guys are playing. And this is very important if you want to reach Champions League in arena mode, because as long as you get the top 25 placement, you're pretty much going to be bagging yourself 60 points, which is enough to, you know, pretty much profit every single game. And along the way you'll probably be picking up at least one elim. You know, some games you won't, but most of the time you will. And what that pretty much means is it's going to help you climb arena super fast, and you'll pretty much be going at a very steady pace even if you are not playing arena mode every single day of your life. And those are pretty much all of the reasons, all of the crucial reasons that you guys want to be playing for endgame in arena mode. I'm pretty sure that's enough to persuade anyone. But anyways, moving into the next tip that I'm going to be talking about today, you need to understand the level of aggression you should play at in arena mode. And what I mean by that is, this. You can't just keep mindlessly pushing every player in the higher arena mode divisions just because, you know, you do come up against some top tier players, and therefore you need to figure out what approach you're going to take with how many fights you engage in. And there's basically two, and a lot of people have different opinions on which approach you should actually take, and both have their benefits and drawbacks, of course. But let's actually talk about what those two approaches are. And the first one is you can either go for pretty much every fight you see, which personally has helped me develop my gun skill and just confidence against some of the top tier players in the game. And some people do, you know, disregard this approach a lot of time actually, just because you'll be dropping a bunch of points when you actually start playing really aggressive in arena mode. And I understand that, but if you're trying to improve at arena mode, this is the most important thing that you should probably consider. If you're trying to improve, it doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, you're gonna be getting a bunch of points and finishing, you know, in the higher division at the end of the season. Improving may mean that you just develop yourself as a player and you know, just get better at arena mode instead of getting more points in arena mode. And the good thing about the approach that I actually mentioned just now is the fact that you'll be putting yourself into a lot more situations that you would probably not be comfortable in if you just played like the other approach that I'm going to share with you in a second. And you know what that basically does when you put yourself into uncomfortable positions against some very good players is it exposes your weaknesses, and you can basically work on them after you know what they are. And that's very important in developing yourself as a player. And another thing that this approach will actually help you with is it will just build your confidence, as I said earlier, against some of the top tier players, because you're gonna need it if you're playing cash cups or tournaments or literally anything, competitive or not. And the other popular approach is to just play to survive and only challenge fights where you actually have a clear advantage. So say you have shield and your opponent doesn't. And this approach can also be useful when you're actually, you know, playing in tournaments and cash cups, because it's going to help you prepare to, you know, just play a little bit more passive to actually play for the end game points, because those are very important in tournaments. But you're also going to need the W key practice with the other approach I talked about, and both of these have their benefits and drawbacks, as I've talked about before, and that's exactly why you should play both ways every now and then. One day you may want to try and just W key everyone in your lobbies, and the other you just want to play for endgame. Both are equally as important, but I recommend you guys start off with the first approach I talked about, just because it will help you get into awkward situations and pretty much help you adapt and feel more comfortable when versing higher tier or similar level players. And that is pretty much it. Another quick tip I want to quickly cover before ending the video, well, there's a few, but let's get into one of them, and that is going to be playing solos, because it gets you better at the game quicker, and there's a better opportunity of getting a higher amount of points a game, because per elim you get 20, and that pretty much goes down when you're playing something like duos or trios or squads. It splits 2, 3, 4 ways, because, you know, Epic thinks that's fair, and mathematically it is more fair, but you're gonna have to play way better for placement, for kills, everything, just to make your points back, or barely even profit. But anyways, that's why you want to be playing solos in arena mode. And let me just quickly cover one last tip before I do end off the video, and it is going to be make sure that you guys actually focus on the zone. Rotations and movement is just so limited at the moment, and I'm sure that won't be the case in the future probably, but if it still is, then make sure you guys pay very close attention to the zone and make sure you guys actually are getting the best rotations possible, because, you know, running for half the game sometimes can be very tedious, but it's better than just having to start all over again and being eliminated by the storm. I mean, come on guys, you're better than that. But anyways, that pretty much ends off the video, and I quickly want to say that I really appreciate you for watching the whole way through. Make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications on to never miss another upload from your boy ever again. Many tutorials on the way, and yeah, make sure to also use my code MaxGame7 if you would like to help me out at no extra costs whatsoever. Hashtag ad, by the way. But anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and make sure to leave a comment if you have any video suggestions for the future. And on that note, I am out. Peace.